into my life from my family, my wife, my children, everybody that surrounds me. Truly grateful for that. Appreciate you, Dr. G. Absolutely. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into it, into today's topic of discussion. For those of us that are new to the broadcast, again, I welcome you. For those that consistently rock with this broadcast and this community, you guys know who you are, and I appreciate each and every single one of you all for the love and the support. And in case you did not know, my name is David Gibson, also known as D1 Gibson here in these virtual streets. Today, we are going to talk about how to change your mindset. Comment below, family, if you would. Mindset. Mindset. That's our topic of discussion. Mindset. Now, I've mentioned this quote in previous discussions, but it's going to be the theme of our discussion today. And I believe it's important that we keep this in mind, especially as we step into this Monday, which again represents new opportunities and endless possibilities. And what I want to bring to the forefront of our mind is for us to understand that a negative mind will never produce a positive life. That's worth repeating, okay? A negative mindset, a negative mentality is never going to produce a positive life. With that being said, right, I believe if you're tuning into this conversation, then you're stepping into this week with the expectation that you can initiate some positive changes in your life. You're looking to be productive and effective at the work that you're doing. Like Lena mentioned, my life carries meaning and a purpose. For many of us, we're stepping into this week with a purpose-driven mentality. There's goals that we're aiming to achieve. There's experiences that we want to have. There's things that we want to level up in. And it's imperative. If we're aiming to create positive results and positive outcomes, it starts right here in the mind. In fact, comment below. It starts in your mind. Starts in your mind. I want to break down just a few mental shifts that we can begin to make right now that will help us create better outcomes and stay empowered in ways that will help us create better results as we step into this new week. Because again, it all starts in our mind. Now, let me paint this picture to kind of give us some context, to talk about the importance of our mindset, right? It's important for us to understand that your perspective, it can either be the key to your progress or it can be the reason as to why you feel stuck in life, right? Your perspective, it can be a complete game changer. Two people can look at the exact same thing and have a different interpretation of the experience and adopt two completely different perspectives. One can be empowered and another can be disempowered, right? Like, I love this story. We've talked about this on previous broadcasts where you have two salesmen that go into a third world country and they're looking to sell shoes. And one salesman says, "Hey, send me back home. Why did my boss send me here? Nobody's wearing shoes," right? Then the other salesman says, "Hey, send every piece of inventory that we have, everything that we got. In fact, bring me more help. Nobody is wearing shoes. I see the opportunity," right? Right. And the difference between the two of those perspectives is one sees the difficulty and the opportunity, while the other sees the opportunity and the difficulty. And because of their perspective, that's what's going to dictate the outcomes that they experience. And the same is true for each and every single one of us. So, to briefly talk about how we can change our mindset, let me preface it by saying we have to actively work at improving the way that we think. But as we actively work at improving the way that we think, we have to keep in mind that you are in full control of the mindset that you adopt. For many people, we often become victims of our thoughts, victims of our beliefs, victims of the story that we're telling ourselves. But D1 came to remind you on this Monday morning, you get to decide the attitude that you're going to adopt as you step into this Monday. You get to decide the mindset that you're going to have as you step into this new week. So what I want you to do is leverage your personal power and decide to be empowered, okay? So again, here's 3 mental shifts that will help us step into this week with an empowered mindset in ways that will help us improve the way that we think. Number 1, Here's what I encourage us to do: direct your focus towards what you have and not towards what you don't have. Again, that is worth repeating. Be intentional about focusing on the things that you do have instead of dwelling on the things that you don't have. And I think because of this reason, this is what makes social media so complicated, right? When our news feed can bombard us with other people's life experience, we often see the highlight reel of other people's lives. And if we're not careful, we'll begin to look at someone else's victories or their wins or their experiences or the things that they have or the relationship that they're in or the success that they're experiencing with their business or the things that they're accomplishing in their personal or professional life, and then look at what we're experiencing and our challenges and our difficulties, and we feel as if we don't measure up, right? And we have to understand that comparison is the mother of misery. As you begin to compare and contrast your life or your situation with someone else, you'll never find yourself in a position where you're going to be happy or you're going to be thriving mentally or emotionally in some cases. We have to break this pattern. And what's going to help us break this pattern is to focus on your journey, focus on your life, focus on your progress, focus on your life experience, so to speak, right? Because again, comparison is the mother of misery. If I can focus on the things that I have, right? What gratitude does, and we've talked about this on many conversations in the past, gratitude turns what you have into enough. It puts you in a state of appreciation, right? It helps you understand the journey that has got you to where you are instead of dwelling on where you're not, instead of dwelling on what you don't have or what you haven't experienced. But when you focus on everything that has made your life what it is, in many cases, we can learn to be humble, we can learn to be appreciative, and we can learn to stimulate some joy because of those life experiences. So as we step into this week, I challenge you, catch yourself in those moments when you're scrolling through news feeds and looking through stories and scrolling through a timeline and you see something that someone else is experiencing and that you don't have. Break that cycle and embrace your journey, right? Look at the lens of your life, right? Look at your life experiences and be appreciative of those things. And I promise you, it's going to set you up for success as you block off that negativity that often begins to create itself in our mindset. As you begin to compare and contrast your life with someone else, you're making space for some positive energy, right? For appreciation, for you to acknowledge the progress that you have made. You may not be where you want to be, but you're not where you used to be. And when you focus on your life experience, it'll put that in proper perspective. That's number one. Number two is this, family. Everybody comment below possibilities. Possibilities. That's what I want us to focus on this week. In fact, focus on possibilities and not your past. Man, if we had time, we'd break this one down, y'all. Again, focus on possibilities and not your past. Now, here's the thing. It's so much easier for us to recall our present predicament, our past experiences, or maybe even our pain from yesterday than it is to visualize possibilities, right? Like we are wired in a way where we recall the things that we've already done, what we've already experienced, rather than looking beyond what is to visualize what can be. But what I have found out is this, Dr. G, extraordinary leaders do not live their life based upon their past. No, they live their life based upon possibilities, right? What the average person does is they base their level of ambition on two things, right? In fact, I'll give us three. Number one, our current capabilities. Number two, our current competencies. Or even number three, our past, what has already happened. We have a vision, we have an idea, right? For many people, and they see something that can be, but then they shut that idea down because, hey, when you were a teenager, right, you failed at that one endeavor that you took on. Or maybe you started a business a few years ago and things didn't work out. So that killed your drive for entrepreneurship, right? Or maybe somebody told you that you'll never be anything and you bought into that idea. You started identifying as this victim of circumstances, as if you can't overcome what life is throwing at you because you're living your life based upon your past. But I encourage us to shift our mindset and instead focus on possibilities. Focus on greater levels. Focus on the dreams and the vision that makes you come alive. Because again, what you focus on the most in your mind will begin to expand in your life. It's going to grow in your life. As you focus on possibilities, you never know what opportunities can present themselves because that's what you're focusing on. For many people, right, we feel stuck, and we feel stuck simply because we're focused on our past. We're in a pattern. You're in the same level of thinking. You're doing the same thing day by day, same habits, same behavior patterns, and wondering why you're getting the same outcomes and results. A wise person once said, you can't solve a problem with the same level of thinking that created it. You've got to focus on new and greater possibilities to break that cycle. So as we step into this week, right, remember, this week is full of great and amazing opportunities. And many of us, there's blessings out there with our name on it. It's up to you to seize those opportunities. And you're never gonna seize those opportunities as long as you're focused on past and problems and your pain and your trauma and the things that have happened yesterday. No, focus on what can be. Focus on how things can evolve and how things can grow and improve. Focus on your capacity to initiate positive changes in your life. Direct your energy towards that. That's going to equip you to step into opportunities with a more effective mindset, with an empowered state of mind to create better outcomes and results. That's number 2. Let's do number 3 and we'll take it home. If you don't get anything else out of today's broadcast, number 3 is what I really want us to focus on. Number 3 is what I really want us to place energy behind as we step into this week. Comment below, family. Train your mind. Train your mind. Ooh, we got to train our mind, y'all. Number 3 is I want us to train our mind to find the value in every experience. Let me place an emphasis on the word every. Every single experience. You're saying, well, D1, it's easy to find the value in the positive results, right? The positive outcomes, right? I got a job promotion. Yes, I'm going to celebrate that, right? We landed the deal. Yes, I'm going to celebrate that, right? Where it's difficult and where it becomes very complicated is for us to find the value in the quote unquote negative experience, in the quote unquote rejection or the setback, and the quote unquote problem that's overwhelming, the thing that seems to be stressing us out. D1, how can I find value in something that's taking my peace away? How can I find value in something that's keeping me up late at night, right? You have to train your mind to find the value in every experience. I've talked about this story and I'll briefly mention it during today's conversation, but what set me on this path of becoming a professional speaker and being an entrepreneur full time was ultimately something that happened where many people would label it to be negative. I got laid off from a corporate position, right? I worked for this organization for nearly 6 or 7 years and got laid off. Now, at the time, I didn't understand what was happening, but hindsight is 20/20, right? And as you begin to reflect and look at things, you'll begin to recognize how life can begin to orchestrate things in your favor. In other words, life is not happening to us, but it's happening for us, right? And if we're not careful, some situations can occur and we'll find ourselves focusing on the pain, the problem, the challenge, the difficulty, and being overwhelmed by that. In some cases, we're anxious. Sometimes we're depressed. Sometimes we're discouraged, and we often feel defeated. But what we have to learn to do in every situation is say, what is the value in this experience? What good can come from this? What can I learn from this scenario? How can I grow from what's happening in my life? And that's how you find the value in every experience, right? I got laid off not knowing that, hey, I was being set up to be put in position to impact leaders like you. So I gave myself literally like 6 hours. I had already been given the vision. I didn't necessarily have the conviction that it was possible, but the seed was planted. But I began to recognize, hold on, I have more time on my hands. Now I can put myself in position to build my brand, to get my name out there, to work on my craft and develop my skill as a leader, as a speaker, as a communicator. And I began to understand this thing that I once labeled to be something that was negative is now working in my favor. And you don't get that unless you train your mind to find the value in every experience. This is why I said this is arguably one of the most important mindset shifts that we're discussing during this conversation. What I want you to do right now, in fact, is look at the problem that you're currently facing. Look at the challenge that's unfolding in your life. I know it's Monday, but like I said, something may have carried over from last week. It's got you feeling some type of way, right? Whether you're consciously aware of it or subconsciously is bothering you, right? I want you to take time out today and really ask yourself, what's the value in this experience? What's the value in this experience? Because here's where the mental shift takes place. The moment you see the value in the experience, your mindset is now empowered, right? In fact, the moment you find the value in the experience, the moment you find something positive in a negative situation, you win. You win. Because it shifts your mind onto a different frequency, right? Now you see the good in the challenge. Now you can find the strength in the struggle. You've turned that test into your testimony, and now you can share it with others, and they're going to be empowered because of your experience, right? The moment you find some good in a negative situation, you get the victory. And this is why it's so challenging for us, right? To keep our focus because we're locked in on the negativity. But I challenge us as we step into this week, disrupt that negative pattern. Again, train your mind to find the value in every experience. We talked about a lot of things during this conversation. Let me briefly summarize these again. Keep this top of mind. What you do have is where you want to place your focus, not what you don't have. Number 2, focus on possibilities and not your past. No, you're not limited based upon what has happened and the mistakes or the failures that you've experienced. No, you can grow, you can expand, you can evolve, you can improve, you can develop. Focus on possibilities. Number 3, train your mind to find the value in every single experience. Let me sum it all up by saying this again. A negative mind will never produce a positive life. You want to change your life, begin with your mindset. Begin with your mindset. You can learn to dance in the rain. You can learn to put a smile on your face in a difficult situation. You can learn to stay focused in the midst of chaos. You can learn to persevere even when other people are doubting you. When other people say you're not going to make it or the odds are stacked against you. The battle is won right here in your mind. So as we step into this Monday, let's place our energy behind maintaining an effective mindset. If we've had time, we talk about how you can begin to integrate things into your morning routine that will help you stay empowered, locked in, and centered with your goals and your dreams with the focused mindset where you're moving forward with your life. But we don't have time to talk about that right now. Nonetheless, what we're going to discuss right now during this conversation is to direct our energy and our focus towards maintaining an effective state of mind. You can actively improve the way that you think, but you have to be aware and focus on these 3 key areas. Again, focus on what you have, focus on possibilities, and focus on the value of every single experience. If you slid into this broadcast and I was unable to give you a shout out, be sure to comment below. And if, in fact, this is your first time, or maybe it's your first time in a long time tuning into the broadcast, I want to shout you out as well. Be sure to comment below. First and foremost, beginning with the number 1, then place your first name afterward. Again, number 1, then place your first name afterward. I am hoping that somebody somewhere that's tuning into this broadcast, whether they're watching this live or catching this on the replay, I'm hoping you found value in this conversation and discussion. If, in fact, you did, put some fists up in the chat. Let your boy know you were picking up what I was putting down during today's conversation. Miss Valencia is in the building. Great day to you. I see you. There is beauty and disappointment. I know that's right. That's the thing, Nicole. Sometimes we get so frustrated, right? We're trying to squeeze through windows, right? Squeeze through doors, Dr. G, when there's gates that we're supposed to step into. We're trying to squeeze into spaces that can't carry the capacity that we hold. And we get frustrated, failing to realize that there's bigger opportunities out there for us. Don't stay stuck on the small. In fact, don't major in the minor. Stay focused on your purpose and your mission. And understand that if it wasn't for you, you ain't gonna get it. If it is for you, it's gonna happen. So keep the mindset that you need to have to keep moving your life forward. Excellent. I see the fist coming up. There we go. Denise, great day to you. Glad to have you tapped in live. Welcome for the very first time. Hopefully you found some value during this discussion. Family, if you will, please share this out with the people that you care about. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, as well as YouTube. You can share the link as well on that platform. We truly appreciate that. My brother from another mother, Blake, is in the building. This was so good. Bless me this morning for sure. We got to catch up soon, brother. Excellent. Wendy, I see you as well. Also, if we have yet to connect on other platforms, family, what are we waiting for? I'm at D1 Gibson on all platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm also on LinkedIn. Be sure to connect with your boy there. And if you have yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, be sure to tap in. That's where all of my long-form content is available. I've got my documentary series that's on there on small businesses, The Quest. The season finale will be being launched soon, so be on the lookout for that as well. Tap into the website, elevationisAmust.com. Take advantage of all the free resources. Again, for the free $99 on the website, that's at elevationisAmust.com. Be sure to subscribe to my growth newsletter. I send out personal growth tools, mindsets, strategies, and insights on a weekly basis directly in your inbox. So be sure to tap in again at elevationisAmust.com. With all of that being said, family, let's wrap this thing up because you have dreams to catch and success to create. So we each got to get busy being great. I'm going to throw some bars out on this Monday morning. Quan, I appreciate you sharing this out with your community for sure. But family, as we do conclude this conversation and wrap up this broadcast, if you find yourself in a difficult situation or a challenging experience, I want you to remember that this too shall pass. It's a temporary moment, okay? So don't make a permanent decision that's based upon a temporary moment, a temporary feeling, a temporary circumstance. Stay locked in on what it is that you want and keep persisting until you succeed. Now, to that one that may be on the receiving end and you're saying, well, D1, it sounds good, sounds inspirational, but brother, you have no idea what I'm facing right now. In fact, I'm in the most difficult and challenging season of my life. Let me speak to you personally. I may not know what you're going through. I may not know what you're currently experiencing. But what I do know is this. Whatever stands in front of you and whatever stands behind you, it has nothing compared to the power that's at work on the inside of you. And the way you activate that power is by you standing up. Yeah, I think somebody needed to hear that this morning. Not the fake you, not the fearful you, not the doubtful you, not the insecure you. No, the real you. I want the real you to stand up this week. The power, like the powerful you, the unstoppable you, that determined you, right? That you that took that initial step and you were excited when you got started with this thing. I want that part of you to show up this week. That you that doesn't accept no for an answer because you know you're looking for a yes. I want that part of you to show up this week. That you that's resourceful, that finds solutions to problems and keeps moving forward. I want that part of you to show up this week. Keep in mind, family, you're unstoppable when you decide to be. This week, I challenge you to make the conscious decision. I'm going to be unstoppable. And as you step throughout this week and nobody else tells you that they love you, remember your brother from another mother, D1 Gibson, has nothing but love for each and every single one of you. With all of that being said, for the fourth or fifth time, when I said I'm going to wrap this thing up, I've lost count, but nonetheless, as we step into this week, family, be effective, be successful, live with some passion, and most importantly, 3 pounds to your chest. 1, 2, 3, be powerful. Don't just say that. I want you to feel that and mean it. Be powerful, meaning the power that lives on the inside of you. Make it evident in your life. We'll be back at it next week, Monday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But in the meantime, have a phenomenal week, family. Peace.
Gonna make it. I can see my shot is here, so now I'm gonna take it. Gotta get up, get out, time to stand up, get loud, time to rise up off the floor. And I'm stronger than ever now, can't hold me down no more. I'm waking up. 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 So I'ma do it right now. Yeah, I'ma do it right now.